Hello, and welcome to the 9th episode of my top 10 favourite tube stations. Today we're going to be looking at number 2 on the list, which is Hatton Cross. Hatton Cross is a station on the Piccadilly line, located in zones 5 and 6 in the London Borough of Hillingdon. The station is on the edge of Heathrow Airport, with planes flying by every few minutes, and as a result it is very popular with plane spotters like myself. The station is named after a tiny community in Hillingdon and Hounslow, and is located on a crossroads in that area, hence the name. It also serves many of the engineering hangars at Heathrow Airport, and British Airways' flight training base. The station opened on July the 19th, 1975, as part of the first phase of the plan to extend the Hounslow branch of the Piccadilly line to Heathrow Airport. This resulted in the former terminus at Hounslow West being partially resited, with new underground platforms, but the original station building was retained. A cut-and-cover tunnel was then constructed to Hatton Cross, which briefly surfaces in order to avoid an underground river. The station was designed to incorporate a bus station alongside. This was due to the fact that the airport section of the line was still unfinished, and as a result, shuttle buses would transport passengers from the station to the airport in roughly 11 minutes. Where have I seen that before? Eventually, on December 16, 1977, the extension to the then-named Heathrow Central Station was opened by Queen Elizabeth II. She actually visited Hatton Cross in order to open the new section, and the station, admittedly, looks much more tidy in this old newsreel than it does these days. Unlike the Hatton Cross section, though, this new extension was dug with the traditional deep-level tunnelling method. However, this left Hatton Cross as a largely quiet station, as the airport now had a tube station, meaning that passengers didn't have to use Hatton Cross to get a bus to the airport. In the mid-1980s, the track just beyond the station was modified in order to allow for the construction of a new loop of track to serve the brand new Heathrow Terminal 4, which I have covered in a previous episode in this series. In January 2005, the loop was closed in order to allow for modifications to the track beyond Terminals 1, 2 and 3 in order to begin construction of the extension to the new Terminal 5. As a result, shuttle buses began transporting passengers from Hatton Cross to Terminal 4, as seen on the tube map. Before I get into the reasons why I like this station, I realise this is a slightly controversial choice. A viewer of mine left a comment on my Westminster video saying that the station was ugly, and indeed, a man who makes videos that are way more refined than mine said that
it's still looking as bland as it did when it was first built in the 1970s.
But hey, we all have our own opinions, right? I love Hatton Cross because despite the fact it is built in a brutalist style, and of course we know that those buildings don't age well, it takes me back to an interesting time in aviation, and it feels like a time capsule of an era that has long since passed. Yes, there are some bits that are quite ugly, like the concrete freezers on the roof edge, although I only noticed them after I filmed this footage. There are, however, some parts of Hatton Cross that add to the charm of its character, like the roundel-shaped door handles, which are still on the doors after 47 years of use. Also, the art on the platforms is lovely, with it depicting the famous Speedmark logo that was used by BOAC and British Airways for 52 years. I also visit the station regularly to watch the planes, and there is some kind of atmosphere that this station has that is unrivaled by any other station on the tube. So it's for these reasons and the interesting way the station looks that I love Hatton Cross, and which is why it deserves a place on this list. Anyway, that is going to be the end of today's video. Stay tuned for the grand finale coming soon, as we count down my top 10 favourite tube stations.